Alright friends, welcome back to the channel. I told you in one of my last videos that we needed to be talking about a plant that I was going to be walking up to the front for. And so I shot the video, but the video did not turn out like I had expected, so we're reshooting it. It is actually currently raining. It's kind of cloudy out here, as you can see, but I'm definitely wanting to get this video done for you guys because the flowers are actually dropping all over the ground. I will show you guys. Look, you can see those beautiful white flowers. They're all over my ground out here, and so we needed to come out here and start doing some picking off of this plant. This is Moringa Oleifera. Most people just reference it as moringa. I call this the tree of life. If you look up in a lot of places, that's what they're gonna call this. This plant is very nutrients, it has a lot of nutrients for your body, and this tree actually is a little bit leaning in my yard. You can see that it goes like kind of sideways. We had a bad storm that came through and it pushed the branches into a completely different like structure. You can see the one is like actually just coming up out of the top, so we definitely need to trim this tree up. There is a fungus growing on it, so I've got to treat this tree. I often just don't come up here and pay a lot of attention to the tree. I just recently had put some mulch down that my neighbors had given me, so this is just a beautiful tree. You can just eat the leaves straight up. You can dry the leaves. There's so many things that you can do with this plant. It has a seed pod. The seed pod is actually over here. You can see that it's just a long seed pod. Sometimes people crush up the seeds and actually consume the seeds that way. I really just like having this tree around because a lot of people just don't even know what it is and how much nutrients is actually in this. So sometimes what I do with this is I definitely come out here and I make a tea with this. There are so many beautiful benefits to moringa. I actually wrote some of them down. So basically it's got 46 antioxidants. It's got more iron than spinach, 25 times apparently. That's incredible, especially for somebody who's potentially like vegan or doesn't want to eat meat, or let's just say we couldn't get meat for some reason. You definitely want to know this about this tree. It has 15 times more potassium than bananas. It has 17 times more calcium than milk. It supports bone health. It has a lot of vitamin C and A. It helps to balance hormones. Now, I wouldn't take this if you were pregnant. Definitely consult with a physician or someone, or a nutritionist or somebody like that. If you're on blood thinners, also keep that in mind, that you could have some reactions. So sometimes medicine is going to react with your plants. So you with your herbs and this is kind of what I call that, like an herb for me, because I mix it into like a lot of smoothies, and I dry it out. I can just come out here, I will take some of the leaves raw. Raw is usually best, and so I take some of those leaves and I just crush them up in my salads and chop them up. Now they taste kind of like horseradish a little bit. It helps to balance and reduces fatigue, which I think is like really important. It also has anti-cancerous properties, and so who doesn't want that this day and age? I did see, and I'll have to pull it up for you guys. All right, so I did see on CBS where it was posted. You can see my iPad's kind of all wet because it's starting to rain, so I came up to my front porch area. It looks like the uppers, and y'all know what I mean when I say that. It looks like the uppers are going to start potentially imposing a new round of tariffs. That includes a 100% tariff on pharmaceutical drugs, 30% tariff on upholstery furniture, or upholstered furniture, and then a 50% tariff on kitchen cabinets and bathroom vanities, and a 30% tariff on heavy trucks. Friends, I don't know where this is leading us, but what we can do is we can start implementing new plants and things into our yard and our gardens that are going to benefit us. Now, I don't really actually hear a lot of people talk about the moringa plant growing in their yard or tree. This tree gets very large. It has the potential of spreading its roots very far, and so you're going to need something, a lot of space. You know what I mean? You're going to need a lot of space for this tree. Where I have this tree, it is definitely my front yard. I don't have a lot going on in my front yard. So this is what my front yard looks like. It's very just open. Remember, I tell you that my fiance is a grass hole. He loves grass. He wants the yard to look like a golf course. But as you guys know, we live in a community that really doesn't unfortunately allow for us to have a front yard garden. I can tell you that we would probably be penalized for that. So we keep our front yard very maintained. I do have a little peach tree that is over there in the one corner. Peaches don't do the best where we are, but they'll be really small. It won't be like something that you see in Georgia or North Carolina, South Carolina, kind of those areas, but they will produce fruit. And so I wanted to start shifting some of my edibles to the front, especially trees, because I'm hoping that people really just won't know what these trees are, especially a moringa tree. Now, the person that I actually got my moringa tree from, I'll have to put his information down below. It's something Kendricks, and he's out of what I believe is the Plant City area. So if you live near or around Plant City, you can stop by there. I'm pretty sure he has a store, but he also has shipping. That's how I got it. Now you can get the seeds and you can start these plants from seeds. There are different varieties. I do believe Baker Creek sells a miniature or dwarf moringa tree, and that may be best for you. I have grown both. Unfortunately, my dwarfs died back a couple of winters ago, and I never replaced the dwarf trees or plants. So I would say if you have a bucket or a porch area, you could grow it in that, but it is going to need to be protected during the cooler months, because that's what killed my plant back personally. So that's just been from my experience. Now what I like to do is I will take the green leaves off of that plant. I will dehydrate them. Remember, I have a dehydrator. It does take out some of the benefits, in my opinion, than just eating it raw. So if it's available and raw and I can just go out there, I will pick the leaves off. I will pick the flowers off. I will implement both of those into smoothies, or like I said, on top of a salad. But now if you had a beautiful tree that was really producing well and you took very good care of it, not like I'm doing to this one in the front, but if you took really excellent care of it, you can get so much powder, so many leaves that you can make so much powder with this. But if not, know that this is something that you might potentially want to look into and stock up on, because like I said, I noticed that the stores, the meat prices have been going up, and you know, everything's just escalating and it's just not stopped. So in order to kind of decrease your budget, your financials on your food system, because we spend a lot of money on food, especially to eat natural and organic. So if you've got a little bit of land, this moringa plant is definitely something that I encourage you all to grow. Another thing that you can do is you can actually preserve moringa leaves or leaf powder. What I do is I actually take the leaves, I dehydrate them, and then I take that powder and I mix it in honey. Now then I take that honey and, like I said, I'll add it to a smoothie, but it's a way of preservation. I love having honey around because honey just preserves so many things. Y'all know that I've been getting a lot of those key limes. So I had been freezing a lot of the juices and whatnot, but I started thinking, if our electricity went down or a situation like that, how would we be able to drink all of that juice? We wouldn't. It would probably end up just getting wet and nasty and disgusting and defrosting, and we wouldn't be able to consume it. So I have to think outside of the box. So one way of preserving that, like I said, is definitely going to be to use the honey. And that's what I've actually been doing this morning. Since it has been raining, the puppies and I can see Pumpkin through the door. The puppies and I have been doing preservation today. So I've been taking those extra key limes and I have been making them in jars, glass jars. Now you don't have to have anything fancy. You can just take the glass jar and like maybe from a spaghetti glass jar or some other glass jar, and you can actually start using that. I'm gonna take you guys inside since it's really starting to break down out here, and just the weather is deteriorating very quickly, which I knew was going to happen. It was going to rain all day, and I'm going to show you guys what I've been doing in the kitchen. Now this video definitely didn't dive deep into the benefits of moringa, but as always with any herb, make sure that you are seeking medical guidance and you are getting the best nutrients and plants for your body and what you need. Do not just follow me, do not just listen. Like, you need to do what's best for you. But I also do recommend that if it is something that you're interested in, start writing some of this stuff down. I've told you guys to keep a notebook. You never know when the system is going to go down and you might not have access to this. We are already seeing control over the media to some degree, or the attempt of, and so that could change our knowledge base. So just make sure that you're keeping up with these things and writing stuff down. All right, friends, I am going to go inside so I can show you guys what we've been doing this morning. All right, so we're back in the house, and so this is what's been going on this morning. So I've been out still. We're blessed this year. This year has been phenomenal as far as our key limes go. So now y'all know that I don't like to necessarily squeeze the green key limes because they're very tough, they're very hard. And yes, they are basically getting ripe, but if they get to this yellow color, that's really ideal. That's what you really want. And so I have been just doing a lot of prep for, and don't forget, like, the reason why I'm prepping, part of it is not only because my mom had shared with me about the increase of tariffs on medication, but I told you guys, like, start making sure that you're getting books and stuff that are going to help you to learn these things about, like, how to preserve garlic and do garlic honeys. It's so good for you. And garlic ginger, and you can do garlic and onions. You can do garlic and key limes. This is a great way to preserve your key limes and utilize them for health benefits. Now you look into all the benefits and do your own research. I am not here to babysit you. I am just here to encourage you and tell you guys what I'm doing, what my family and I are doing. And remember, like I've said before, is you might not just be taking care of yourself, you may be taking care of others. I have nephews and a niece, and my parents and my aunts and uncles, and so they don't grow like I grow. Now my mom's been trying, so props to her. My brother has a lot of bananas. Grow what you can grow. But in the meantime, I have more abundance in certain areas, and key limes this year are absolutely one of them. I have, over this year, I have 3 key lime plants, and I have literally gotten over 400 key limes. 400 key limes. I want you to calculate out the financial benefits of having that Mexican key lime tree right now. That's insane. You go out and price out 400 key limes just buying them from the grocery store if you started buying this over time, not necessarily a bulk shopper. So think about those things. So what I've been doing this morning is this is what my garlic honey looks like. You can see it's super crystallized. It is well used. It's just beautiful. I use this quite often. Now you want your garlic honey to sit, it's so crystallized, it's like eating candy at this point. You want your garlic honey to definitely rest for me personally, what I do is at least 3 to 6 months, because I really just want it to just get married and happy and just congeal and just get all those benefits out of it that we can. So here is my other honey and garlic. I just did this one actually this morning. So when my jars get low and I buy a new jar, that's what I start doing, is implementing honey garlic. That's one of my favorite things to do. Like I said, my fiance, he loves eating this with his chicken wings, and like doing it as like a dip. I will just take the garlic clove itself, and you can just smear it on a piece of bread, or you can just eat it. Sometimes I just get a spoon if I'm starting to not feel well. I'll just get a spoon and just actually consume it. And then just, if it gets kind of a funky taste to you, just wash it down with some water or something to kind of get that absorbed into your system. So, like I said, you don't have to be fancy. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of mason jars. Now, while I have mason jars, yes, I utilize them. But what I've been finding is that when I share with my parents or my brother, I never see the jars. Again, now my parents are much better at it, but honestly, like my brother and sister-in-law, hopefully they're reusing their jars in some other way, shape, or form. But some of the people that I give my stuff to, I don't really have contact with them all the time, and I like to make Christmas gifts with some of this stuff that we have. And so you don't have to be fancy about it, as long as like you're in a family that people just understand you're upcycling your jars. This was a salsa jar. Now, granted, I could just come in here and clean this up, get some Goo Gone or something, and just get it peeled up. But I literally stuck it in the dishwasher, washed it twice, pulled the label off, and here's the back side of it. It's the key limes in honey. It's very liquidy. And you want the honey to actually be covering the key limes. You can see that I've got a gap at the bottom. And so you are going to need to kind of turn these and rotate them and make sure that you keep shifting these jars. I even do it with my garlic honey. I will take these jars and make sure that I am swishing them around and making sure everything is just staying under that honey so that it's staying well preserved. So this is actually a spaghetti jar. This is a very decent sized jar. And so I'm actually going to use this now. The easiest way obviously to do this is, you guys can see I'm bringing you a little bit further down on the counter. I have washed off my key limes. You're just going to slice them like you would normally slice a like a lemon or lime slice. I like to make them somewhat thin because for me personally, I end up putting this in honey, in teas or something like that. You can actually end up, everybody has to do what's best for them. You can eat the rinds off of here. I'm going to pop them all in this jar. We're going to work through this fairly quickly. I actually kind of need a better knife, but I have a tendency to cut myself. So my fiance told me no. He's like, I'm just going to put that one in. He's like, you don't need a better knife because you're always hurting yourself, which is true. But yeah, so just cut them in sizes that are going to work for you. I drop them in the jar, and these make excellent gifts at Christmas. And that's what I'm saying, you got to have the kind of friends that don't care. Now if your friends care and you got to get fancy with it, go ahead and buy yourself some mason jars and get all fancy with it. You can definitely zhuzh this up and make it, that's how you get cut, and make it really nice. The oils that come out of these key limes are incredible, and it makes the outside skin really slippery. So if that would have been a sharp knife, I would have just literally just cut myself. And key limes are fairly small. They're not obviously large. Now you can do this with a regular lime or lemon. My neighbor was telling me that her brother has a lime tree, and they had so many limes this year that they also did not know what to do with them. So it kind of inspired me to just start finding or implementing other ways. I knew about it, I wasn't finding it. Like, I knew this was a piece of preservation, and this has been going on for years. I mean, think about it biblically. How do you think they preserved stuff? Like, thank God for the bees, literally. I mean, bees are absolutely amazing, and if we didn't have our bees, I don't know what we would do, friends, because honey is such, there's so many benefits to honey. It's anti-inflammatory, has, anti-viral properties to it, and that's what I'm saying. Nature can heal you, for sure. You just have to know how to implement it and what's going to work best for you. So like I said, if you're getting those tariffs on medication, now I don't know, is it specific medicines? I don't know what the plan is with that, but I've told you all, you're going to have to start being your own pharmacist. You're really going to have to go back to, you know, what people were calling like snake oil remedies. I'm not saying they're an end-all be-all. Do not mistake that. There's a time and place for a doctor, but in medicine. But with that being said, do stuff to help you, right? Like, that's the goal here, is be prepared for whatever may come, to the best of your ability. Like, obviously you can't predict everything, but all right, so you definitely want to leave a little bit of headspace. For me personally, that's what I do, because this is going to liquefy and it's going to bring out a lot of those beautiful nutrients, and you're going to see that juice in there. And that's what I'm saying. It will get very watery, and you've got to keep like tipping and rotating the jar. Now you can see that these look very much so like lemons, as opposed to the key limes, which are these beautiful green colors you're seeing here in this jar. And the reason for that is because y'all know that I prefer the yellow ones that are already falling off the tree, as opposed to the green true key lime, because they are a little more difficult to work with. Now you can also be implementing stuff like, this is dried basil. Don't forget to be drying your basil. I've been going out there cutting it. That's just a natural dry for me. I have not been putting that in the dehydrator. All right, and so the next step is super simple, super easy. I am going to actually go ahead and use my orange blossom honey. This can be ordered online in the gallon size. This is from Old Florida Bee Company. It says right there on it. Go check them out. This is one of my favorite honeys I like to buy, and yes, I do buy it by the gallon size. You're just going to go ahead and pour in the honey, and then make sure that it gets all the way to the bottom. And it does use quite a bit of honey, this process. That's why having gallon-sized jars of honey is really important. It will seep its way down into this jar, and then if you need to fill it up a little more, do so. But remember, give yourself a gap. Give yourself a nice gap on that head here, because you do not want to have the liquid start coming out and then it just doesn't make it right. Now you can see it's just shifting down. It's so beautiful, and this was so easy to do. So this is a beautiful way to take advantage of what Mother Earth and God has brought to you and preserve your food naturally. You do not have to seal this down. Honey will last for a really long time, and here in my house, you know, and like I said, this could be potentially a gift to my brother or my parents, and so that they can use it. I will let this sit. As y'all know, we are coming to the end of September. We are about to roll into October. We have already like passed this quote-unquote fall. I definitely have leaves that are falling in the yard, and so I know at this point the key limes are starting to just starting to die back now. You know what I mean? Like, they're just starting to regenerate themselves and just rejuvenate for the winter, and they're prepping as well. So plants know what's up. And so anyway, friends, this is just encouragement today. In a rainy day, make sure that you're utilizing the best of your time, making the most of your time. Do cleaning. I will be cleaning today. I still got tea to make. I'm going to be going out to the garden, getting some basil, still picking the blue butterfly pea flower. Now, you know there are different colors to that blue butterfly pea. I think mine is technically lavender. I got it from Baker's Creek. They did say it was blue, but it's really turned out to be quite lavender, and that's okay. I'm still preserving that and drying those out. I've got jars of that. Let me show you guys real quick what that jar looks like. All right, so here's my blue butterfly pea flower. I think, like I said, this is really more of a purple color. It is beautiful. Look at that in that jar with that beautiful lid. Now, these make really great gifts. I've put a dry pack in here to make sure that mold does not attach to these flowers should there be any dampness, and it just keeps everything great. So start thinking about your holiday gifts now, because friends, it'll be here before you know it, and we'll be scrambling to want to buy things for people, and nothing is better than an actual with love made gift. And so that's what a lot of my family will be getting this year. I have so much abundance in this. And then, you know, think about it, you get these two together, you've got your key lime and honey, and then you've got your blue butterfly pea flower, and that makes for a wonderful gift to give to friends and family. and loved ones. All right, friends, so that was basically your bonus. Not bonus, is start prepping for the holidays. Until next time, as always, love one another, be kind, and I am so happy that you guys are on this journey with me. This is such a blessing to be able to share this knowledge with you guys, and just be able to be social with you guys, and just interact, and just have good communication, and just put that positive energy out there in the world. So all right, friends, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me today.